Welcome back, investors, to Ticker Time News. I'm Adam, and today we're talking about Lordstown Motors, ticker symbol RIDE, R-I-D-E. Lordstown Motors is down over 10% today, off of comments the CEO of Lordstown Motors, Steve Burns, had to say on their inaugural earnings call yesterday that the SEC is investigating them from the report from Hindenburg Reseach. Yes, the same research firm that brought down Nikola Motors. They are now trying to bring down Lordstown Motors, another EV startup, although this time it's in the electric pickup truck space. So what we're going to do is go down the Hindenburg Research Report, a highlights reel. We're not going to dive too deep into it. I don't want this being an hour-long video on the topic. And then we're going to go over what the CEO had to say on the earnings call yesterday about the Hindenburg Research Report. Now, Lordstown Motors is down over 10% today. Year to date, they are down over 33%. But if you look at their high made on February 11th, over $30 per share to where they are today, that is a drop of 56%. Yes, over half of their value has been completely vanished since February 11th. Okay, let's get right into this Hindenburg report. The title is The Lordstown Motors Mirage, Fake Orders, Undisclosed Production Hurdles, and a Prototype Inferno. Yes, pretty harsh. So a lot of what they have to say is that the 100,000 orders that Lordstown Motors claims to have, or pre-orders, are completely fake and riddled with holes. So they go to say, the illusion of supply and demand. Lordstown is one of many SPAC-led electric vehicle companies that have attracted hordes of retail investors with the lure of exposure to the ongoing EV revolution. And in fact, it says here, Lordstown Motors CEO Steve Burns boasted to Yahoo Finance of having, quote, pre-sold 100,000 vehicles, representing over $5 billion in future revenue and a huge vote of confidence for a slew of top-tier fleet customers. One of those supposed fleet customers, well, Lordstown recently announced a 14,000 truck deal from E Squared Energy, supposedly representing $735 million in sales. Well, E Squared is based out of a small residential apartment in Texas that does not operate a fleet of vehicles. And they have several of those types of reports. They also say that Lordstown founder and CEO Steve Burns was described to us by former senior employees as a con man and a P.T. Barnum figure. Not very nice words to say, now is it? So they say here that Lordstown chairman and CEO Steve Burns, who formed the business in June 2019, this followed his February 2019 departure from publicly traded Workhorse. Yes, we know the company Workhorse Group, especially from the USPS hype and the drama that has happened since Oshkosh Defense was awarded the USPS contract, where he served as founder and CEO. Yes, the same person, Steve Burns, who has founded Lordstown Motors, founded and was the CEO of Workhorse, but the board kicked him out. As part of our research, Hindenburg Research, we interviewed former senior employees of Workhorse to learn about Burns' leadership style. All credited him with being the driving force and visionary behind both Workhorse and Lordstown. We were told Burns has a masterful marketing approach, which includes a cultivated, soft-spoken style and use of self-deprecating humor. Despite these acknowledgments, they also shared that while he excels at presenting a vision, he lacks the ability to follow through on plans. One former employee called it Steve's magical thinking. Burns was pushed out of Workhorse by the board due to his inability to focus and execute projects, according to former employees. Burns launched Lordstown 4 months later with little more than meaningless pre-orders and designs. The new company quickly bought a closed GM plant, giving hope to a hard-hit local community. They even went to the White House. Part 1, Lordstown order book looks to be almost entirely fake and or non-binding, representing no genuine demand. Even went on Kramer and talked about their pre-orders. It just goes on and on. E Squared, we mentioned earlier, a $735 million deal for 14,000 trucks, run entirely out of a small apartment with no fleet whatsoever. And they show pictures and orders and whatever they could dig up and find, they have it in this report. Here's another one, a $52.5 million 1,000 truck deal. And the CEO says, I didn't place any order for trucks from Lordstown. Another 500 truck order that is a promoter agreement with Clean Fuels Ohio. Lordstown predecessor under Steve Burns' leadership struggled to find enough orders, so it began paying $30 per non-binding order as early as 2016. Then, by 2020, desperate to report more orders in the run-up to its go public transaction, Lordstown began paying $50 for each zero commitment non-binding contract. It's just crazy. Catholic Cemeteries Association, I'm not committed to anything. And here we go. Another quote, key pre-order includes a 250 truck order from a customer engulfed in a bribery scandal, which appears then to be meaningless, the order. So this report just goes on and on. They've got details, they've got paperwork. Whether any of this is true or not, we'll have to wait for the SEC to finish their investigation. But the last bit before we jump to Lordstown Motors. Lordstown Hub Motor Technology, which is supposed to be revolutionary and core to Lordstown Motors in their vehicles, was licensed from a tiny Slovenian company because, and this is former employees, so they could be biased. They say Steve Burns went with this company to license their technology because it was the cheapest they could find. Oh my goodness. If this stuff is true, watch out. Okay, now here's what Lordstown Motors had to say. It's in 3 parts here. Number 1, it says, today issued a statement in regards to a short seller report written on Lordstown Motors by Hindenburg Reseach on March 12th. The company is aware of the remarks made in the report and intends to respond as appropriate in due time. Lordstown Motors remains on track to start of production of its Lordstown Endurance all-electric pickup truck in September 2021. This week, the company intends to elaborate on its progress towards start of production, including providing an update on beta vehicle production and other important business developments in its inaugural earnings call, which it did somewhat. So here's what they released, and then the next part is what they said for during the earnings. So here's what they wrote. Timeline to start of production SOP in September 2021 remains on track, with beta prototype build underway and the first beta vehicles to be ready by the end of March, and that would be 2022. Vehicles to be sent for durability, crash validation, and lighting testing with various partners, and to early initial customer feedback. They go on to say, interest in the Lordstown Endurance all-electric pickup truck remains robust. Moving forward, arrangements with fleet management companies to work to obtain purchase commitments from their clients and direct sales to fleet customers. Now, this is what they are releasing in their earnings report, so this must be factual. This report goes to the SEC. The last thing they mention here is about the second vehicle they are producing, accelerating the development of Lordstown Motors' second vehicle, a van with a goal of SOP, and that's start of production, in the second half of 2022. Expect to unveil a demonstration vehicle of the van in the summer of 2021. So there's two very key milestones for Lordstown Motors, and they both occur this summer. August timeframe, I guess July, August timeframe, and then September timeframe. They say they're going to unveil their new van in summer of 2021, and they're going to start production of their beta endurance all-electric pickup truck in September of 2021. So those are two key things to watch out for. Now, here's what the CEO of Lordstown Motors, Steve Burns, had to say during their inaugural earnings report yesterday. We are aware of the short sellers report. We've also received a request for information from the SEC, and we are cooperating with that inquiry. In addition, the board of directors has formed a special committee to review these matters. That's exactly word for word what Lordstown CEO Steve Burns said on the call yesterday. This is what has the stock selling off over 10% today. That quote right there. Now, he did talk about two other things. The next one, Burns said the company would not comment further on the matter until the committee's investigation is complete. Now, Burns did also talk about the Lordstown Endurance pickup truck that caught on fire. He made a comment about that because that's also in the Hindenburg Report. Burns also addressed a recent incident involving a prototype truck that caught fire while being tested on public roads in Michigan. He said the issue had been traced back to human error while the battery pack was being hand-built and has been addressed, but that it had submitted the component for third-party verification. That's it. Nothing else was said about the Hindenburg Report, about any of the supposed fake orders. Nothing. That's it. So, Lordstown Motors is today falling. It is down over 10%, now over 11% as of recording. Amazing. Okay, I hope you found a ton of value in this video. Please smash the like button and click subscribe and join our family of investors. It's free and we have a lot to discuss. I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.